I'm sharing the cake that Hagrid made for Harry's 11th birthday. And I totally used box cake and frosting because it's my birthday too, and that's what I felt like having. I'm Roxy, welcome! If you're new here, my passion is helping you make sweet treats. Because adults need cute things too. I read all of the Harry Potter books as they came out and watched all of the movies multiple times. Harry Potter. Harry Potter and I share the same birthday. Happy birthday to us. In the book, the cake is described as a large, sticky chocolate cake with Harry Potter written on it with green icing. The film added some pink frosting and interesting spelling choices from Hagrid, and now we have an epic cake. Can you see that? Preheat the oven. I follow the instructions on the box. This mix includes incorporating all of the liquid first. Since this is a chocolate cake, the one swap that I do is add some express coffee. It brings out that chocolate flavor. Add box mix until just incorporated. I did sift this. The cake is chocolate because it's described as chocolate in the book. I did feel tempted to make it funfetti. I don't overmix because I don't want a dry cake. Then I line 2 8-inch round cake pans with parchment paper. Eight-inch, right? Right. Pour an even amount of batter into both cake pans. I bang, bang, bang to settle any huge air bubbles out of habit. Bake according to the recipe or until the toothpick in the middle comes out clean. Allow the cake to cool. For the next part, I'm going to use both chocolate and vanilla frosting. Just whip them up very well. Whipping it to get air in it is just an instinct. Fluffy. I whipped it for a few minutes until it felt lighter. At first, I wondered if I could get away with just using one frosting. Then halfway through when I whipped this up, I realized I needed a second. Continue whipping. Remove some of the fluffy frosting and set aside. So pre-made frosting is infamously sweet. I had an idea. Instead of food coloring, why don't I use freeze-dried raspberries to flavor and color the frosting? The tartness cuts through sweetness. Here it is all crushed up. I thought this is a pretty pink, natural pink. Okay, here's the frosting we removed. I add green food color paste. Now it's time to build. Add some frosting to the cake board to help the cake adhere. I adhere my completely cooled cake layer to the cake board. If you've been here before, you know I have a bunch of from scratch recipes for cakes, but I want to focus more on the decorating this go around. Can I tell you that this is the first time I've used pre-made frosting on a cake? I mean, normally I just eat it out of the container. Add chocolate frosting as cake filling. I use an angled spatula to spread out that chocolate frosting. Top with a second cake layer. So I still crumb the cake the way I usually do. I know it's a rustic cake and crumbs in the frosting will probably add to the authenticity, but still. This is a thin layer of frosting and then scrape the excess away to crumb coat the cake. I use the vanilla frosting. By the way, I do have an amazing Swiss meringue buttercream recipe. Then place in the refrigerator for 15 to 30 minutes to firm the cake so it's more stable. And then go for it with decorating. I've obviously had the frosting before and it's always great. I've used an angled spatula to do the same first tightening of the frosting and remove excess. Rustic cakes aren't my jam, but they will be if I just go for it more often. To make it easier to space out Hagrid's writing, I use a skewer to pre-write the text. I found that it's easier to start from the center with adding the letter and moving it out. The piping bag has a number 5 tip on it. I frost Happy Birthday Harry in Hagrid spelling. Here is that green frosting. I do think it's a super cute idea to swap Harry's name for someone else's. Maybe I should have done Roxy. I make some mistakes along the way, but I think it adds to the rusticness of the cake. Using a clean knife, I carve the cracks from Hagrid transporting the cake. Well, OMG, Harry Potter's 11th birthday cake success. And yum! And it tastes so good. How pretty is this cake? Look at that. Got the chocolate cake, then the chocolate frosting, then the chocolate cake, a nice rustic cake. Yay! Yay! Happy birthday, Harry! So exciting. Okay, let's make a wish. This is room temperature now. It's really nice with the raspberry frosting. Okay, if you took anything away from this video, subscribe if you want. And thank you for helping me hit 2,000 subscribers, woo! Oh, I should have written 2,000 subscribers on my cake. Thank you so much. Also, I'm doing a YouTube live baking every Thursday, 5:05 Pacific Standard Time. Come join me. See you next time. I wonder if I should have just like moved this out of frame. Like, surprise. That's okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to me.